Hey, so hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and we'll be going through the Dune Immortality Imperium tier list part 2. So here we'll go over the 4 costed cards all the way to the 8 costed cards, and I hope you're excited. So let's jump right in. So this is where the card stands. I think there are a lot of discussions about high priority travel and organ merchants. I don't have the most place with it, so I think if you read the comments, I think they would help you to place where they are exactly. But I will not do any adjustments now. I think once I have more place with it, I will come back to this list. So first on the list, we'll have Benny Twilight's Researcher. So this card is a graph card. I quite like this card. Getting the 3 persuasion off at the end of the game is not very common. A lot of times it's just 2 persuasion, but it is possible with this card. I like Graft Enablers, and hence that's why it's in the A tier. But because of its access, I think it's the slightly worse of the Graft Enablers. So a low A tier. So for the next card, we have Clandestine Meeting. So Clandestine Meeting is a 4 persuasion card that reveals for 2, and for most of the game, that is what it is. If you are able to graft it, you can get a influence bump in the Bene Gesserit, and you also get an intrigue card, which is very good. However, most of the time, if you see this in the row, you're buying it for its 2 persuasion, and maybe once or twice it'll come up in the game that you have some way of playing this card. So I do like this card, but I don't think there's a very reliable way to get it off, because there's not many grafting cards. So get the grafting cards first, then get this later. This is a low B tier. So next we have Interstellar Conspiracy. So Interstellar Conspiracy, um, once again, it has a graph mechanic, and this time when you graph, you get 1 spice. I think out of the previous rewards, I think this is probably the weakest of them. The 1 spice doesn't feel good in any way. But if you manage to graft it with an Emperor and Spacing Guild card, then this card becomes very good. At its base, I think having a reveal for 2, I think is good enough. So I think you can always just keep this in your hand to reveal for 2. Um, but you can buy this card and then after that start to pick out Emperor cards and Spacing cards. So, but this is the first card that you buy in that when you buy those range of cards. So it should be a high B tier. Next, we have Throne Room Politics. So Throne Room Politics is very similar to In the Shadows for me. Both of them reveal for 1 Bene Gesserit influence. And I think most of the time when I buy this card, that's what I'm doing. I just want to reveal it. I think at some stages of the game, having Emperor access also is useful. And I think early on, if your actions aren't good, going to Wealth, and getting an extra troop and being able to trash also is quite good. So overall, I do like this card quite a lot. This card is a S tier card for me. Next on the list, you have Lisan L Gabe. So I don't like this card. This card has a lot of text on it, but a lot of mediocre text doesn't make it a good card. Best thing about card is that when you buy it, you get a spice, but then spice also is not 1 spice also is not very exciting. Then I guess you're able to get a double fragment bump if you get have another Bene Gesserit card in play. But there are other Bene Gesserit payoffs that I think rival this as well. So the payoff I think is quite okay. Not fantastic. I put it in the low C tier. I'm not excited to pick up this card. So here are the 4 costed cards. I think so among them, I think Throne Room Politics is the best. And even though Lisan L Gabe has so much text on it, I don't really like it. We'll move on to the 5 costers. So for the 5 costers, you have Keys to Power. So Keys to Power is a 5 costed card that has good faction access as well as reveals for 2. Overall, it's a decent card. Nothing too much to be excited by. I think if you can get the 2 spice off, even better. However, it's not super exciting. Or I think in the 5 costed cards, it might be a low B tier. Next we have Steel Suits Manufacturer. So Steel Suits Manufacturer, I really enjoy this card. This card is very fun to play. I think this is one of the more fun cards you can get with Dune Immortality. So if you see this card, do buy it and try it. It's really fun. You get this card and you get the Alliance, and every time you play it, it returns to your hand. And then so you can play it multiple times. You can play it to go to Hardy Warriors, and play it go to Research Station, and then you have a ton of water. You can spend it all, and it goes back to your hand. So it's like it's almost like it's drawing one card, and it's always drawing itself. It's really really good. I really like this card. It's very fun. You should try it out. However, there are a lot of good 5-cost cards, and because of that, I think it sits on a high A. Next, we have Replacement Eyes. So Replacement Eyes is one of those cards which I really like. I think it does everything that you want in a graph card. You are able to draw more cards, you're able to trash, and you're able to get one beetle. And this one beetle, I think, is what pushes it to where it's at on my scoreboard. The issue I have currently with Immortality is that the last beetle, so when you're at 3 going to 4, I think that's the hardest beetle to get. It's not something that you automatically get. You have to kind of work for it. And having this one beetle enables you to get it very easily. So it also allows you to trash some of your experimentations, and when it's late in the game, you can always trash yourself. Overall, I really like this card, and that's why it's in the S tier for me. So finally, you have the Twi'lexu Master. So Twi'lexu Master is a 5-cost card. This card is very good. It's the talk of the town. So it reveals for 2 research icons, and research icons are quite rare. I think there are not many cards with research icons. So if you see this card, buy it and play with it. It's really fun, and it's really fun. Just buy this card. I do think the power level of this card drops significantly after the first few rounds, but I still think it's an okay pickup middle of the game. It should get you get one play out of it. It's not the greatest, but if you buy it one round, this card is insane. I think this is the best card of the set. So top of the S tier. Okay, moving on to the 6-costers. I really like the 6-costers. First, we have Imperial Ceremony. The on-play effect is same as Handro's passive. You look at the 2 intrigue cards of the deck and you put one back on top. I don't know what exactly is the weight of this ability, and I don't know how strong it is, but it feels strong. It feels strong when you do it, and I think that's not even the best part about this card. The best part about this card is just that it reveals for 3. Just like Pytha, just revealing for 3 just allows you to buy Spice Flows in situations where you don't have high council and it's a bit harder. So I really like this card. It's good faction access and a good on-play effect. So you can use it early, you can use it late, and if you don't use it at all, it's also great. I like this card. S tier for me. Next, we have Long Reach. So Long Reach is one of those cards that is a payoff card. You either need to have a Bene Gesserit setup, or you need to have a graph enabled to play this card. However, in all my games, because I think it has multiple ways to enable, if I buy this card, I should be able to activate it around 60% of the time. And I think that's enough. Sometimes you'll activate it twice in a game, and that's equivalent to 2 points. The effect is so powerful that it warrants a buy. The on reveal is not the worst as well. Getting an intrigue card is always good. But when you can get it to when you get to play this card, it feels great, and everyone at the table will look at it and think this card is broken. So for the 7-cost cards, we have For Humanity. So For Humanity is a card that I will compare the most to Firm Grip. Okay, they both do similar things. You play it and you get an additional faction bump. At the end of the game, it has some ways of converting the points. Firm Grip just gives you a high persuasion value, assuming you have the Alliance, whereas For Humanity assumes that you have the Alliance and you can downshift to persuasion 2 influence in a track to get a point. So I mean, the only case where that comes up relevant is that when you chase an alliance and you miss, or you have spy satellites. So I don't think that this card is insane. I have not played with this card. I've been wanting to play with this card. I may play with it and bought it like round 5 and used it once, but I've not bought it early in the game and used it multiple times. As such, I'm not very sure where to rate it. But as such, I'll peg it to Firm Grip. It's a good card. It's definitely S tier. But is it better than Firm Grip? I'm not entirely sure. So one good thing about it is that it also has a Bene Gesserit tag. So what the Bene Gesserit tag allows you to do is to be able to draw 2 using selective breeding end of the game, and that's a very powerful space. So overall, this card is very good. But as compared to Jessica, I think I'll still prefer Jessica over this card, just because the bump is innate. Yeah, overall it's an S tier card, just that I do need more plays with it, somewhere in the S tier. And last and for all, we have Occupation. So Occupation is a card I think you naturally compare to Full Scale Assault, right? You Full Scale Assault, you get a Dreadnought and you can send it into combat. I don't think that is the best of comparisons. If you buy this card early, I think you will be able to use the Faction Access quite well. It's not bad. However, it's not great as well. It doesn't, like the 3 troops accumulates to 6 strength, I think, which is kind of equivalent to 2 plays of a Dreadnought. So it's not very good early. It doesn't reveal for Persuasion. When you get it, you want to play it. And I remember having this card once and wanting to play it to a green space and not being able to go to a green space. And that was extremely awkward. This card is probably the worst 8 costing card. And the card that I'll compare it to the most is Treachery. So between Treachery and Occupation, which would you rather have? Treachery will give you 2 troops, right, when you finally trash it, and it gives you 2 bumps, and then after you never see the card again. And I think having immediate 2 bumps is a lot more powerful than having 1 bumps slowly. So I don't really like Occupation. I think that would be the sentiment all around. It should cost 7. Overall, I think it's an A tier card still, but its cost is not great. So with that, we've come to the end of the Dune Immortality Imperium tier list. I hope this list was interesting to you. I know that there are many things that you all disagree upon. I think we are all quite agreed upon Talix Master sitting right at the top. So do drop a comment for those things that you disagree upon, especially for the cards that I have not had a lot of plays on yet. For Humanity, Occupation, Lisan Elgabe. For these cards, do drop your comments inside and I'll be sure to check it out. I value all your opinions. So thank you for watching this video and I hope this video was helpful. Happy duning!